Dun, 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 dun. There it is, fantastic. So, the stream's up, the chat's up, we're all good to go. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round one of the PS4 America Series here on Race Spec Esports. We are here at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix, a 4.32 kilometer or 2.7 mile racetrack with 10 turns. Has the least amount of corners on any racetrack on the Formula One calendar. In saying that, there are several overtaking opportunities, most notably at turns 1, 3 and 4, as they come immediately after DRS zones. But there's also other corners on the racetrack, such as turns 9, turn 10 and even turn 7, where you can easily gather warnings, so drivers have to worry about those corners during qualifying. But the racetrack, generally speaking, is well known for its racing. It's typically close racing. It's probably the best race track in a way. It's not the best driver's circuit. It's a very simple racetrack. Doesn't have the greatest amount of technicality. But in terms of opportunities that can arise, and the number of opportunities on the racetrack, it's definitely one of the best for racing in Formula One. And another fantastic sight for a season opener in Race Spec Esports is that we have a full grid. All of the full-time drivers, if I'm not mistaken, are here. I could be wrong with that. There might be a few reserves here and there. But regardless, it's a full grid here at Austria. There's some names that I do know, some names that I don't. I have a fairly good idea of who's going to be towards the top of the table. This man is probably the one who's going to be at the very top. SWM Alp, Season 2 America Series champion. He was in a title fight with a driver named BRT Fast, who isn't competing, it seems, this weekend. In fact, Alp is going to start a flying lap. We're right on board with him. Will take us on a tour of the Red Bull Ring. Around turn 1, a very important corner to get right on exit, so then you can maximise the speed up the hill towards the heavy braking zone of turn 3. 100 metre board hard on the brakes. Second gear actually, short shifting to third, a very stable exit. DRS open now, heading towards turn 4. Another heavy braking zone, another notable overtaking spot on the racetrack. Down the gears, second gear at the apex, short shifts to fourth gear at the exit. That way he minimises wheel spin and gets as much power down as he humanly can. Round turn number 6, you have to be careful on the exit not to use too much curb, otherwise you will get a warning. Around turn 7 and then turn 8, very nicely there, hugging the right hand side, minimising distance. And into turns 9 and 10, very tricky, complex, incredibly easy to do that in fact. Just ran a little bit wide, went all four wheels over the white line, and an instant invalidation. That's how brutal this racetrack is sometimes. But there we go, a very good illustration of what this circuit is like for the drivers. A lot of critical traction zones, a lot of important critical traction zones, and several areas where the drivers can be caught out with warnings, so you have to be careful in regards to that. That's at the moment, the times on the board, we're looking at low 4s at the moment. Hildebeest at the top of the table, driver from Season 3, currently setting a 1 minute 4 flat. Bender is in P2, 1 minute 4, 1 minute 4-1. Then his teammate Lake Show in P3, a 1 minute 4-2. But I suspect as the session goes on, we'll see those times become significantly quicker. KD, is he on a flyer? No, he isn't. Neither is a Goose Gamer. Alp is on an in-lap. Doberman, is he on a flyer? He is. Making his way round turn number 8. Up and over the crest towards turn 9 with its tricky entry. And the pit entry is something that the drivers will have to worry about as well. McLaren makes its way around the final corner. DRS open towards the line. It's a 5-3, puts in P8 provisionally. think Gentleman Seth is on a lap as well around the final corner. He has invalidated though. Crossing the start-finish line. He is going to try and set another flying lap around turn 1. You can try and use as much of the curb as you possibly can through turn 1. That way you can try and open up the corner, try and carry more speed up the hill around turn 2 and 3. Around turn 3. Using second gear there, not using third gear on the exit. Towards turn number 4, hard on the brakes, third gear, second gear at the apex. Using as much of the gears as he humanly can. We saw a different technique from Alpine where he short shifted on corner exit as a means of minimizing wheel spin, using as much of the road as he humanly can. There is Lake Show, just pulling off to the side, letting the car on the flying lap through, completely missing the apex there, Seth, at turn 9. Gets a decent run through turn 10 though. Towards the line, it's a 4.1, puts in P6. Detail on an out lap, same with KD. Actually, several drivers on out laps right now. It'll be interesting to see who will be at the top of the table. I know Alpine will be, I know SWM Beam will be as well. A race winner from seasons past. A championship contender last season. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get it. That championship crown went to COS Nicholas. BRT Fast coming in second place at the end of the championship with a brilliant championship all round. We had a somewhat anticlimactic season finale, but it was it's a typical season finale that you would get around Abu Dhabi, in all honesty. It'll be interesting to see what these two can do. In fact, Alp is going to begin another flying lap. Now, I noticed in the chat that he is using absolutely no assists, from what I've seen. I believe Alpine, for the most part, uses ABS and Racing Line, if I'm not mistaken. Asefi jumps to the top of the table, a brilliant time, a 1 minute 3.383. He is leagues ahead of second place Hildebeest, but as I said, plenty of time left in the session, and with such a short lap like Austria, you can actually set quite a number of flying laps in qualifying. So you are given plenty of opportunities to try and improve. Now heading around turn number 6. This ends the second sector. 44.1 to the second sector. Very wide there. Going to use as much of the curve as he humanly can. Using all of the curve on the entry to turn 9. Then into turn 10, the final corner on the racetrack. Very clean run from Alpine. It's a 1 minute 3.1. He jumps to the top of the table by 2.5 tenths of a second. Bean has invalidated, same with Captain Schmeg. Smith has pulled off to the side of the road. Auguste is into the pits. Sully is doing a bit of lawn mowing in his Ferrari. Snake and Beans improves on his time, 1 minute 4.597, jumps to 9th place. KD must be on an in lap. Bender was just off the circuit then. I wonder if he's just on a second out lap because he's got a lot of ERS in his back pocket. Just wonder if he's going to send it. There's a Ferrari coming around. That must be Sully on his out lap, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's Alpine. He's on a second flying lap here, it seems. Runs wide at the final corner though. That will cost him, and it's a 3. He doesn't improve, but he did lose a little bit of time going through traffic and a bit of a mistake through the final corner as well. So he did 2 flying laps there. Very, very close between the times. Only half a tenth of a second separating the 2 times. See what Bean can do. He's now making his way towards turns numbers 9, then turn 10. Oh, but you saw that there, completely sideways at the apex. Fantastic car control to save it, and it doesn't actually invalidate his time. He sets a 1 minute 4.460. He jumps to 7th place, even with that colossal mistake at the second to last corner. I have noticed that driving around here that it's incredibly easy to lose the back end of the car, particularly when you throw it into the corners. Most notably at turns 9 and 10. If you just throw it in a bit too hard, the car doesn't really like that, and it sort of gives up, sort of surrenders to all the cornering forces, spins you out of control. Flavius on a flyer. And the racing point for this season. It's a bit different not seeing Bean in a racing point. He's in an Alfa Romeo, which is a very interesting car to be in. Flavius making his way around turn number 8, up and over the crest again. Turn 9. See, they're a bit more gentle there. The car likes that. It's nice and stable. Not a bad run through the final corner. Doesn't improve though. Must have made a mistake just a little bit earlier that I didn't quite catch. JC on a flying lap. He's up by 0.3 of a second. He's coming towards... Oh, I love looking at a gearbox glitch there. Improves by 0.6 of a second. He jumps into the top 10. Oh wow, August Gamer comes up to 3rd place with a 1 minute 3.9, just ahead of Hildebeest, who is finishing his flying lap. He retakes 3rd with a 1 minute 3.579. Still a little bit off Sefi and Alp, but he's towards the front of the field, and here at Austria, towards the front of the field is quite the big advantage, as you tend to see turn 1 shenanigans in the midfield, and also turn 3. The field really bunches up through here on the opening lap, so if you're in the midfield, it's quite a dangerous place to be. So being up towards the front is really good. KD jumps up to 2nd place with a 3.311. Not a bad time there, still 0.2 off Alpum at the top of the table, who's now setting another flying lap with a bit over 5.5 minutes to go, and invalidates instantaneously, oh dear, through turn 1. That's how brutal this track is, ladies and gentlemen. Just one teeny weeny tiny whiny mistake, that's all it takes. Smith on a flyer, yet to set a lap time. He's currently last. Sefi appears to be going into the pits, but that will cost Smith a little bit there, just a little bit of speed, not too much. And he's on the medium tyre as well, crossing the line to set a 5.5. He jumps to 19th. I imagine a lot of these guys, as you can see, qualifying on the soft compound tyre, no one on the medium, so Smith probably just getting his iron on the medium tyre. He'll go in, waits till about maybe 2 minutes to go, maybe 2.5, come out on a set of fresh soft tyres, try and set a more competitive lap time. Alpum, another flying lap after invalidating here at turn 1. Oh, pushing the limits at the exit there. Car was quite unstable. He managed to catch it. He's still on his way, and he's basically equaled his first sector, only down by 5/1000ths of a second. Heading towards turn number 4. Be hard on the brakes here, down the gears, 3rd gear, 2nd gear at the apex, short shift to 4th like we saw in his first flying lap. 5th gear, 4th gear, then short shifts back up to 5th, then 6th gear. He's up by almost 0.2 of a second, so we're looking at a high 2 here. If he can maintain this sort of speed in the 3rd sector, around turn 9, down the hill, into turn number 10. It's just a straight line dash to a line. It's a 1 minute 2.880. So he cracks into the sub 3 times. Can anyone reply to that? We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Several drivers on out laps with 3.5 minutes left in the session. Is that a Williams? I can't quite tell. As JST has retired from the session in the pit lane, it seems. His qualifying session is done. He will not be improving on his 12th place start. Let's have a look-see. Seffi on a flyer. He's going to be one of the drivers trying to challenge for a sub 3. He's just down in the first sector though, almost by 1/10 of a second. This Ferrari parked off. Is that Alpine? No, it's not. It must be Sully on an out lap, just trying to get out of everyone's way. Very kind of him. Seffi making his way towards turn number 6. Let's have a look at the Sector 2 time. What does it say? Oh, it's not looking fantastic for a sub 2. He needs a magical third sector, really, to improve by 4/10 of a second. Really chucks it in there. He absolutely sent it. Unfortunately, it hasn't paid off. But he's going to go on a second flying lap. Oh, hang on. Because of his invalidation, at that particular corner, it's also invalidated his next lap. So he effectively has to do another out lap. Try and get the car round. Across the start-finish line again. Set another flyer. KD, he's improved. 1 minute 3.035. Not quite a sub 3, but almost a sub 3. Hildebeest. He's up in the first sector by almost 1/10 of a second. I believe that's KD there. No, sorry, it's Flavius in 17th place. Into turn 4, third gear, second gear. Short shifts. A similar technique there between Hildebeest and Alpine. Short shifting on the exit. Around turn number 6. 5th gear, takes it quite nicely through there, using all the curb on the exit, but misses the apex just slightly for turn 7. That will cost him a little bit of momentum, not a lot, but just a little bit. Around turn 9, 7th gear, takes it very nicely, lifted off the throttle on the exit though. Around the final corner, DRS open, up and towards the line, he does improve. 1 minute 3.390. Still only P4, only just so. Less than 1/100th of a second separating P3 and P4. Very, very close indeed. Bendo, is he on another flying lap? He's currently 5th place, 103.750. August Gamer, currently P6 with a 3.9. He's on another flying lap. See if he can't improve. Bender is not up to the first sector. What about Gamer? Is he? He is by 1/10 of a second. So that's a good first sector, but he needs to keep that up. He's also got the number 14 on his Renault. Unfortunately, he won't be able to use that when the 2021 game comes out. As young rookie Fernando Alonso will take that number more than likely. He's up by half a second to the second sector. With that, that's a mid-3. He will at least gain 1 place. Bender does improve, and it's raining. Oh, and runs wide on the exit. Oh dear. He was definitely going to jump up into the top 5, but unfortunately that costly error at the final corner with the rain coming down, he cannot improve. He stays in 6th place. I think Smith is going to be the last driver to come into the pits. And when he retires into the session, or when the crew decide to wheel him into the garage, that will be the end of qualifying. As I suspected, it is SWM Alp on pole position, not by the greatest of margins. It's less than 0.2 of a second to P2, which is KD. Sefi in third. The biggest shock for me is probably SWM Bean down in 10th place. Driver who competed for the driver's title all the way down there. It's a bit of an odd sight to see. Perhaps he's going no assist as well. And this will be his first race without assist. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But there we go. That was your top three. Hildebeest in fourth. Bender in fifth. Agus Gamer in sixth. Captain Schmeg in a very, very nice seventh place. Lake Show in eighth. Niru Nix in ninth. And then we got Bean rounding out the top 10. And all of them will be starting on the soft compound tyre. It'll be very interesting to see what the drivers outside the top 10 decide to do. From previous experiences with this race, typically speaking, it's a soft hard or soft medium sort of circuit. Trouble with doing a soft medium is that you have to stretch the soft stint a little bit, which isn't too bad, but the medium tire can wear out pretty quickly, and you're in definitely a sort of a risky sort of zone in regards to punctures if you pit too early to go onto them. The hard tire isn't too far off the pace of the medium tire as well. If you've got good car speed, you've got a good setup underneath you, I reckon you could possibly keep up with a medium runner if you're on the hard tyre. So it is a viable tyre option, no doubt about that. You can use the hards around here. But we'll just have to wait and see what everyone else is going to do. Clear skies it appears to be here at Austria. No signs of wet weather, so we don't have to worry about that. But weather won't be the only thing that can shake up strategy. Safety cars, of course, can shake things up if we have a safety car at any stage during this race. Just have to wait and see, shall we? Session starts. Drivers will take off on their formation lap, and we'll get to see what the drivers outside the top 10 have decided to do. Hopefully. A bit of a longer loading screen, dearie me. Dry race, as I thought. Clear skies. Makes sense. Oh, it appears as if might be stuck on a loading screen. That's not good. Oh well, I guess it can't be an F1 season, an F1 online season without some sort of lobby glitch. Always get at least one. Yeah, I think so. I think we might have a lobby bug. But like I said, it wouldn't be a Codemasters game if we didn't have one. I suppose. They're always good fun though. Come on, Cody's, you can do it. Come on, let it load. Please. Well, if we do have to do a lobby reset, which is looking more and more likely, I'd be interested to see what kind of things the drivers are allowed to do. Obviously, for the drivers inside the top 10, I believe there is a regulation put in place that would mean anyone inside the top 10 must start on the tyres they qualified on, and I can see a few drivers leaving the session now. Have a few drivers left the session? I reckon they have. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of the cars have ghosted, so plenty of people have decided to drop out. So I imagine there'll be a lobby reset at some stage. But tell you what, while we're here, we'll get to see what the drivers outside the top 10 would have went on, and whether or not we'll see those same drivers on the same tyre. Actually, no, we probably wouldn't have, would we? As they wouldn't have gone on to the grid due to the loading screen. As we have a few of the guys still in the lobby having a muck around, it would seem. But yeah, I'm not sure if this is an AI choice or this is a driver choice. I'm pretty sure it's pretty sure this is a driver choice. 3 drivers on the medium compound, that being Snake and Beans, the Doberman, and Smith Pell. Hopefully we get an invite from Beans shortly. Hopefully. He is the league coordinator after all, SWM Bean. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these sort of regulations will be used. Whether or not the drivers outside the top 10 must use the tyres they selected prior to the lobby glitch. Just checking on the Discord now. Yeah. Hopefully Bean will make the lobby soon. Hopefully. There we go. So the lobby crashed, as it normally does, when not enough drivers are in the lobby, compared to the amount of drivers in the lobby when it started. So we'll just have to wait and see when everyone can get the lobby back together. We'll get an invite and we'll, oh, dearie me, get to racing. But what to do in the meantime? Well, I mentioned the return of youngster and rookie, as he was in the driver test, Fernando Alonso coming back to Formula One. Be interesting to see how all those driver pairings work out, wouldn't it? All the new different driver pairings. I mean, it's the same driver lineup at Mercedes. Red Bull have got a brand new lineup with Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. That'll be very interesting to see how Mr. Perez goes in the Red Bull. I hope he does well. I have heard people saying, I hope he doesn't do well, just so then sort of proves the point that Red Bull are sort of a one-car team. I kind of hope that isn't the case, though. Because I don't want Sergio to go through another horrendous season. I feel sorry for the lad. I'll just quickly check something. No, I haven't been sent an invite just. We got. Oh, there it is. Fantastic. So we got a new lineup at. What else? Oh yes, of course, Racing Point now, Aston Martin Racing, Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel. I know a lot of people were making jokes about him, you know, losing his hair because of his stressing out with Ferrari. In all honesty, he was losing his hair. It was thinning quite a bit. You could tell. But yeah, he's lost quite a lot of it. But to see him without that sort of Ferrari pressure, sort of brand new team, sort of fresh faces, it'll be interesting to see how that goes for him. Of course, Lando and Daniel, the dream team, the meme team. Though Daniel says he's going to take it a lot more seriously in McLaren, but I don't know. I reckon he's a kid at heart. still make jokes now and again. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz Jr. at Ferrari. Don't know how that will turn out during the pre-season testing, but I don't know, that 2020, I don't think they would just magically propel themselves out the top of the tables again. So that might take a while for them to claw their way up the leaderboard. See Ferrari be a top-tier contender once again. Of course, AlphaTauri with Pierre Gasly and debutant Yuki Tsunoda. Interesting that they decided to go with Tsunoda. I have to say, I do feel a little bit sorry for Kvyat. Just sort of, you know, oh yeah, you drove very well last season, now get out. Oh dearie me. It's just, I mean, I get it, Honda's last season, Japanese manufacturer, Japanese driver, very nice to see. Of course, the brand new squad at Haas with Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher. Yeah, that will be a massive headline at the opening race of Bahrain to see Mick in a F1 car, follow in the footsteps of his father. But I wouldn't expect him to be at the front of the field. I wouldn't imagine he'd score points in his debut season, in all honesty. I don't think that Haas F1 car is really anywhere at the moment. Even with Mazepin money, it's not just going to instantly become a midfielder. So it'll be a tough first season for both Nikita and Mick. But it will be interesting to see how they develop from their first season. Whether or not they both belong in the world of Formula 1. The rough and tumble, brutal world of Formula 1. You only have to look at Alexander Albon to understand how brutal it is. The kid was praised when driving a Toro Rosso, and then because the public bullied Gasly was kicked out of Red Bull, so they put Albon in, and Albon was doing alright. And then 2021, Albon, after Austria, started doing not particularly amazing. The public just sort of bullied him out of a seat. It wasn't particularly nice. But now he doesn't have a seat in Formula 1 at all. He's now a test driver and also driving for some special events in the newly revised DTM Championship in Germany. No, a very, very interesting season, I reckon 2021 is going to be. Just to see how everything pans out with the driver changes and whatnot. Be an interesting first round at Sakir. And hopefully this will be a interesting first round as well here at Austria. Now hopefully the lobby won't shit itself, but it just might. Because it's a Codemasters game, so just be careful of that. Yeah. There we go, there's a session counter. We got some ticks on the board as well. And then we can finally get this race underway. Now, top 10 will have to start on the soft compound tyre, but they're on fresh soft compound tyres, not poorly used soft compound tyres. Let's have a look at what everyone's up to then. So as you can see here, the drivers who selected the mediums in the race, okay. Nice driving there, Alpoon. Classy stuff there, mate. Spinning out of turn 1. Oh, that's fantastic. But yes, Snake and Beans, Doberman, and Smith fell. All of them on the medium compound tyre, everyone else on the soft compound. A dry race as well, no signs of wet weather. Very, very interested to see how this all pans out. But, not much else to talk about really on this formation lap. It'll be a bit difficult for the medium runners really to try and hold their position when they got drivers behind them on fresh soft compound tyres, as Doberman is making full use of those soft compound tyres by coming off the racetrack. Oh dear. Of course, with them being on the alternate strategy, they're going to be incredibly rapid towards the end of the race. But I reckon if they're really going to make this sort of strategy work, they need a fortunate safety car period. I feel like they're going to lose a lot of time to the drivers around them while they're on fresh softs. Leaders are lined up, ready to go. We'll be just waiting on Sully to line up into his respective grid slot. We can get the 36 laps of this Austrian Grand Prix underway. There we go. Fantastic. I believe Sully is lined up, ready to go. But here we go for the first round here at Austria. We have 5 red lights. And that's a jump start for Captain Schmeg. We're lights out and away we go. That's going to be a drive-through for him. That's not the way he would have wanted to start this season. Alpine leads through turn 1. What about the midfield? Do they get through relatively okay? It seems like it. No yellow flags has cropped up. But here we go into turn number 3, the heaviest braking zone on the circuit. The slowest turn on the circuit. Contact there. Oh, and Alpine has been half spun. He loses a bunch of position. And same with the Mercedes. Oh, Bender for life. He had a bit of contact and he was pushed onto the grass. And he drops down to 10th place. Oh, it's a Ferrari of Alpine trying to negotiate turn 3. May have made contact with a Goose Gamer. Oh, and into the wall he goes, collecting Niru in the process. Oh, dearie me, there are lap 1 shenanigans. Off the racetrack goes Blender. But he's under control. He hasn't made contact with anyone. Good driving from him. Good car. Oh, and contact, never mind. He made contact with Doberman at the inside of turn number 7. Oh, dearie me. Oh, and the Williams sends it. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Bender goes into the pits. Everyone else just trying to sort themselves out. But what a unbelievable first lap this is. Captain Schmeg in the pits, serving the drive-through penalty. A wing change for Niru. Same with Blender. But it's KD who was leading the way. Seffi in second. Alpum a fair ways behind in P3. He's got Hildebeest and a Goose Gamer in behind. Late Show is under attack from Bean here. He's looking around the outside into turn 4. He closes the door. They're still side by side. Through turn 5. Heading towards turn number 6. Bean has the inside line. He gets the position. Can Late Show get the switch back? No, he can't. He is stuck in 7th place. Bean moves up into 6th. Snake and Beans has made a fantastic start on those medium tyres. He's inside the top 10. It's a fantastic start, moving himself forward a couple of positions. KD setting fastest left. Oh, and sideways. Oh, and he collects JC in the Alfa Romeo at the final turn. Oh, dear. And that is a 5-second penalty, which he will serve. He cannot remove that. Oh, and oh my word, what is that Williams doing? Of course the McLaren was going to take the apex. Oh, dear. Contact between the McLaren and the Williams there at turn 1. And around goes the Williams. Oh, dearie me. What a chaotic first couple of laps here at the Red Bull ring. Dear, oh dear. Now, where to look? Where to look? What are the closest battles? So Sully is nicely in behind Flavius for P14. Captain Schmeg. The Williams having a scrap. Seffi now a 3-second time penalty. Got one next to his name. And they're going to play quite a significant part in this race, I reckon, those 3-second penalties. So they are so easy to accumulate, as Hildebeest has now demonstrated. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where to look at the moment, in all honesty. It's JST, I believe. Oh dear. That is so unfortunate. Just got collected by the Renault of Snake and Beans. He's got a damaged front wing. He will have to go into the pits. And he had to do a full lap with that as well. That is really, really unfortunate there. It's not how you want to start off a season. But at least he'll know it's not his fault. It was an innocent accident, in all honesty. Really, Steve just had nowhere to go. Meanwhile, this battle for P6 still raging on. Lake Show not giving up. He wants to maintain this fight with Bean. Detail is not too far behind in P8. Just going to have a look at the positions changes. Who's made the most? As Lake Show now gets a 3-second time penalty. The man who's made the most amount of places on the first lap is Gentleman Seth, as a Haas just creates a brief yellow flag there coming through turn number 6. He's made up 9 places, started from 18th. He's inside the top 10. What a magnificent start. Same with Smith. Up 7 positions from 19th. He's into 12th place, just outside the top 10. Lake Show and Bean still having a scrap, as Detail is now catching the back of this. Around turn number 3. Uses first gear, Detail. That's not what many drivers would use around that corner. In F1 2019, definitely, as spamming the gears was almost required in that game. But in F1 2020, you sort of have to be a bit more gentle with the car. Be not anywhere near as spammy with the gears. Typically, you don't use first around there. Battle going on back here. Snake and Bees, Lucid, Smith. Doberman isn't too far behind as well. There's a Gus Gamer. Now gets a 3-second time penalty next to his name. Still plenty of laps to go. So we got this 4-way train. This is for the last point scoring spot. This is for 10th place. And we got almost 3-way fight between Bean, Lake Show and Detail. Lake Show has absolutely dumped his ERS, as Niru now gets a 3-second time penalty. Detail just trying to hang on the back of these two. I was just about to get to this as well. Contact between the two drivers. This is a battle for second place. Alpin has the inside line. He should get the position and does. He's now into second place. But Seffi is not going to give up. Meanwhile, KD is pulling away. He's got a 4-second margin. That's slowly closed up a little bit there by a 1/10 of a second, but it's a 4-second margin nonetheless. Battle for P6 still raging on. The tail again just sort of hanging in there. As is that Bean going into the pits? It is Bean going into the pits. You can tell by the way that he turned in to make sure the car was over the pit lane entry line. Make sure that Lake Show and Detail behind knew that he was going to go into the pits. Gentleman Seth is not too far behind. There he is there. But I reckon... Oh, and he's onto the medium tyres. Oh, no, 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 no. Those tyres will not make it. I am almost certain of that. I struggled to make hard tyres last 28 laps. They got up to about 80-odd%. So Bean will have to do a 2-stop. There's no doubt in that. Those tyres will not make it. And I don't use assists either, which means that I have better control over the tyre wear of the car. And you generally get less wear if you don't use assists. And if Bean, regardless of he is or isn't using assists, I don't think those medium tyres will make it. So he's in a bit of trouble, I would think. He might have just forced himself to a 2-stop strategy. KD has now got a 3-second time penalty, and that gap between first and second is steadily closing. Same with the gap between 6th and 7th. Detail putting a lot of pressure on Lake Show now. Gentleman Seth not too far behind. Detail using the DRS, closing in on the Mercedes. Up the hill towards turn number 3. Gets a nice exit, nice and gentle on the throttle. Lake Show just pulls away a little bit. As Luciv and Smith are now having a scrap and contact. Oh, and into the wall. Oh dear. So the two drivers have made contact at turn number 3. What's it going to be like into turn 4? Down the inside goes Smith. Contact again between the two cars. And Smith is now into P11. And now Luciv is going to lose another place here, surely. He's on the inside. But without the front wing, he doesn't have any sort of downforce whatsoever. He now drops down to 13th place. Being now a 3-second time penalty, down in 16th place. I wonder if he had a front wing change, Bean. I'll just take a quick squiz at the pit stops. Let's have a look. Yes, he had a front wing change, so that's why he went in. But going on to the medium tyres is a very interesting choice. Lucid in, he's getting a front wing change, going onto a set of medium tyres. Again, he's going to have a hard time getting those to the end. Very hard time indeed. Seffi just losing a little bit of time to Alpine. Flavius gets a 3-second time penalty, and there's an incident. I believe it's Sully in the Ferrari. He has spun out at turn 3. Lost plenty of time, and a few positions as well. He's now down in 17th. Just see what these two are up to. P6 and P7 still battling it out as Lake Show gets another penalty, and here comes the tail using DRS and a bit of overtake, and he gets him before the braking zone into turn 1. However, Lake Show should counter-attack here. He's got DRS. He's sitting in the slipstream of the Red Bull. He doesn't quite have the momentum to try and attack. And Bean has made a mistake. There he is, a pit entry, spun round. And in he goes. Has he got a damaged wing? I'm not sure. But he's in. Pulls it up nicely. But dearie me, this has been a shocking starter for Bean. What's he going on to? Set of hard compound tyres and a wing change. Oh dear. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. At the moment, not a great deal going on right now. You can see the intervals between each of the drivers. It's starting to spread out a little bit. But towards the front of the field, it is KD still leading the way. Alpine in second, 2.5 seconds behind. With that 3-second time penalty that KD has, means that Alpine is in a position to take the lead, so long as he stays there for the rest of the race. And of course, if he doesn't get a penalty himself. And that's Sully. Well into the braking zone, into turn number 3. So he got a damaged front wing, I can't quite tell from here. Sully, a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, because the game is stupid like that. It doesn't appear like he has a puncture either. And he's got it stuck on overtake as well. Recommend turning that off if you can. Now he's at the back of the field, 26 seconds down on 19th place. It's not been a great start for him either. Oh dear, that is wing damage. There goes the Red Bull of Nix, I believe. No, sorry, that would actually be Detail in the Red Bull. Oh dearie me. Not been a great opening round for some drivers. KD still marching on in the lead. Alpine closing in little by little. Seffi trying to keep up with the Ferrari, 2.8 seconds behind. Yeah, the field is quite frankly very spread out as the Ferrari slowly is going into the pits. Was the yellow flag just there? Yeah, not too many battles going on, it would seem. Smith is trying to launch an attack for an 11th place as Bean sets new fastest lap time down in 17th place. Do have a bundle of 4 cars very close together. That must be a few lap cars in that. Oh, as Alpin has lost a fair amount of time, actually, to KD. He's now 4.6 seconds behind, as we have an incident at pit entry. That is Smith. I wonder if he made contact with the Williams there at turn 9. They were very close together on track. Perhaps he did it by himself as well. As we saw in qualifying, if you throw it in too hard at turn 9, incredibly easy to spin out. Seffi, a 3-second time penalty next to his name. No retirements as of yet as well. Very nice to see. You know, unfortunately, not too many battles on track as of yet. See, all the cars, they appear to be very close together on the track map, but fortunately no battles going on, as we have some people coming into the pits. Gus Gamer and Hildebeest are in for their first stop, as JC is out. He is out of this race, right on board with the tail. Virtual safety car has been deployed. Oh dearie me, that's a big shunt into turn 1. But we have seen stuff like that before in previous games, where you get on the throttle a little bit early, ride the curb a bit awkwardly, and off you spin into the inside wall. And he's now left the session, understandably so. But Hildebeest on those fresh medium tyres help his cause out a little bit. DRS is now enabled. We're back to green flag racing. It's under attack from the Williams behind. Just a brief yellow flag there at turn 4. Nothing really of note, as KD and Seffi are now into the pits. And from the looks of things, they are going to switch onto the medium tyre. There's KD, he comes out just behind the Williams. And away Seffi goes. Now for KD, he made up enough time so he's not in any sort of traffic. He's in clear air. He's able to put the hammer down. The tail, not too far behind. 2.6 seconds. He may impede Seffi a little bit depending on how long he stays out. Like show now in 5th place. 2 other drivers in the pits. Seth and Bender. Sorry, no, Captain Schmeg is in the pits. Being a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As Seth is right on the back of Blender here. Heading towards turn 3, around turn 3. DRS open. Gap is 0.7 of a second as Alpum is into the pits. Now KD should get an undercut on the Ferrari. He was in clear air. Nothing to impede him. It would have been a very nice lap from KD. Away he goes. Sector 3 yellow flags. As the Mercedes of Lake Show is in the pits. There goes KD in the lead. 4.8 seconds. As Detail overtakes Alpum for 2nd place. And Alpum is only just in front of Seffi. Seffi will probably launch an attack here. Try and use Detail, as Detail actually makes it easy for those 2 drivers. Gets out of the way. But here comes Seffi. Opens DRS, uses overtake. He wants this. He's going to go for it, I reckon. Coming into turn 4, he looks to the inside. He sends it. They're side by side. Maybe a little bit of contact, but nothing too malicious. Into turn number 5, then turn 6. Alpum has the inside line. Seffi isn't going to give up though. Around the outside of turn 6. Now turn 7. If he can stay there, he will have the inside line for turn 8, and the 2 Next corners. Can he get it done? They're still side by side. Up and over the crest. Into turn 9. No. Alpoon comes out on top. He stays in P2 for now. But Seffi is on a charge here. He wants this position. He's got DRS again. He'll close in on the Ferrari. And perhaps will go for a move at the top of the hill at turn 3. Round turn 1. He needs a good exit through here. Does get a good exit. Opens DRS. Sits in the slipstream of the Ferrari. Prepares himself. He's now gaining. Where will he look? To the inside. Sends it down the inside. Gets the position. Can Alpoon counter-attack? He's got DRS. He might be able to. He opens it. Uses a bit of overtake here. And where's he going to go? Down the inside! Seffi blindsided there. He thought he had the inside covered. But Seffi holds it around the outside and maintains the position. So a minor lapse of concentration from Seffi. Countered by a great bit of racecraft holding him around the outside. I thought Alpoon had that position for all money. But Seffi held his line, had complete confidence in the car and in the tyre, held it around the outside and stays in second place. But meanwhile, with these two battling, KD is opening up a lead now. 6.6 seconds now between second and first place. This is the problem with battling so much. You let the guy in front just pull away from you. But now Alpoon ready to attack. Down the inside. Coming into turn number 3. Gets the position. Perhaps overshoots so into turn 3 and does. He runs wide. And Seffi should get DRS as well. He does. So he'll just power away. Well, that's what he should do. Alpoon uses a bit of overtake, I reckon, to try and counter-attack. He has the inside line, has a nose there. Seffi gives him space, but Seffi still comes out on top, still in second place. What a brilliant battle this is at the moment. Oh, as Alp now gets a 3-second time penalty himself. You saw it there, folks. Just cutting a little bit too much at turn number 7, and it's cost him dearly. That is Smith Pell, if I'm not mistaken, the AlphaTauri, just passed us on the start-finish straight. Alpoon is ready to attack here, or he thought about it, showed his nose to Seffi. He said, mate, I'm right here, I'm ready to attack. DRS, a bit of overtake as well. He sits in behind the Williams. He has to go around the long way, but he gets him before the braking zone. Into turn number 3. Now Seffi should counter-attack here into turn number 4. He's going to use DRS. Will he use a bit of overtake here? Catch up on the Ferrari? No, he won't. In fact, I think he's going to quite gladly just sit in behind the Ferrari for just a moment. Just let the battle settle for just a little bit. KD still pulling away. The gap is almost 7 seconds now between the top two, as Detail is making these softs work. In 4th place, he's done 18 laps on the tyre. The soft compound is quite a nice tyre here at Austria. Can make it last. I wonder when he'll be going in. In fact, he'll be doing half distance on those tyres. And I reckon he's coming in right now. So that's a good stint on those soft tyres, a long stint. His tyres will be nice and fresh for the final 17 laps here at Austria. Seffi has lost a little bit of time to Alpoon. Heading through turn number 3. Does Alp get DRS here? No, he doesn't. Eventually Smith will get blue flags and he'll have to obey them and get out of the way. Through turn number 4. Gap is half a second between the two, and there's Smith getting out of the way. Very good job. Using the ghosting mechanic as well. And my drivers aren't compromised getting past the car. Now Seffi's starting to lose time to Alpoon now. Gap is almost a second between P2 and P3. So I tell you what, we'll have a look at what's going on elsewhere. Blender, gentleman Seth hunting down to tail. Just behind them is Lake Show as well. So we've got a 4-way fight for 9th place. So these are the final point scoring positions, P9 and P10. Just in front of the tail is his teammate, Nero Nix. And into the pits goes Snake and Beans off the medium compound. So he's done 20 laps on the tyre. As we saw from Detail, you can do 18 laps on the softs. And that's a 5-second penalty, which he must serve. That was the contact between him and JC at the final corner. Onto the soft tyre, away he goes. He's going to lose a few positions. He's down in 14th, but he's got clear air. No one to impede him. He can put the hammer down. Lake Show now into 10th place. As Gentleman says no thank you very much. I'll take that back if you don't mind. Back into P10 he goes. In the meanwhile, fortunately not too many battles going on. Seffi is losing a lot of time. Look at that. 2.1 seconds now between Alpoon and Seffi. And an Alpoon, oh dear, another costly error. Now 6 seconds worth of penalties next to his name. He's got 3 more seconds worth of penalties compared to KD. 3 seconds less compared to Seffi. As Doberman and Nix are going in. Oh dear, that was very close between those two. Coming off the mediums that they started on, they're going to go onto a fresh set soft compound tyres. Away they both go. As Snake and Beans overtakes the both of them. Now he's in 12th. Have a look here. Gentleman Seth now clawing on to the back of Blender. We want to get past through turn 4. Gap is half a second between the two. Sully gets a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Now clawing nice and steadily onto the back of the Mercedes. And Blender, he might be going into the pits here. He is. He's going in. Oh, I have to say, Austria is easily the worst pit entry in F1. Honestly, it's such a shocking pit lane. Lake Show, well and truly on the back of the AlphaTauri here, heading into turn 1. Second gear through turn 1, that's very odd. I must say, typically you take it in 4th gear. And Lake Show, with a lot of momentum on his side, using DRS, he gets past. He's now into 7th. Oh, and Seth, I reckon he wanted to try and get a switch back, but Lake Show was just on the inside. He wasn't going to give the AlphaTauri the opportunity to try and retake the position. As Alpha, now 9 seconds worth of penalties. Just going from, oh, and into the wall! Oh, my word! That's a good gamer. He's lost it at turn 8. And there goes the tail. Oh, here comes Lake Show. He's going to get the position as well. He's into 6th place. There's Gentleman Seth. Gus would have to go into the pits. Oh, and the amount of understeer he's got in that car. What is he? He's not going in. You got wing damage. Surely you got wing damage from that. He does. He's not going in. He would have. That's a red front wing for sure. If anything, you're probably going to have another accident without that front wing. Oh dear. You saw that there. We just flicked to it briefly, but he went into the wall. Coming out of turn 7 into turn 8. Gus game a 3-second time penalty, so he got a penalty there for track extending. At the entry to turn 9, because that is a thing in this game. But oh dear, that was looking like a superb race for the Argentine. And then he just made a small teeny weeny mistake and it's cost him a lot. Here comes Snake and Beams, gets up into the top 10. There's Beam, he's just outside of the top 10. He'll be desperate to find his way back into the point scoring positions. Sector 2 yellow flags, that's Nix. And what an incredible place to go off. The sort of the same place Mick Schumacher went off in F2. He sort of went straight on. I wonder if he got hit from someone. He got sent into the gravel trap, but he's going in, I reckon. And there's KD, our race leader. Leading the way, 4.9 seconds. Oh dearie me, and into the pits goes a Goose Gamer. Onto a set of soft compound tyres and away he goes. Snake and Beans down the inside. Oh dearie me. Now coming into turn number 6. Oh, so both the Renault drivers are sporting Formula 1 driver numbers. So the number 14 on a Goose Gamer, obviously representing Fernando Alonso, and number 27, Nico Hülkenberg on the other Renault. That would be an interesting driver lineup. Fernando Alonso and Nico Hülkenberg. Oh, and speaking of Fernando, oh, don't drive up the circuit backwards too much, otherwise you'll get disqualified. Don't want that next to your name, oh no. But that's another mistake, another broken front wing. Oh dear. It's a bit like that sometimes, unfortunately. Once one thing goes wrong, it all starts to go wrong. Now the Williams and the Renault side by side, heading towards turn number 4. Here we go. The Renault has the inside line, but he pulls out of it. Oh, but the Williams runs wide. They're going to be side by side again. Now into turn number 6. The Renault just in behind a Goose Gamer, a 5-second penalty for speeding. He might just be retiring from the session now. Oh, and Bean, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. So the driver's starting to gather a few penalties here. The Tail is yet to get a penalty though. He's driven superbly well. He's in 5th place at the moment. Starting from 11th, just outside the top 10. Alp, another penalty. Making up 6 positions. Driver of the day is looking like Gentleman Seth, up 10 positions. From 18th, he's in 8th. And he's potentially getting a couple more with those penalties. He's got none next to his name as well. Compare that to the 2 in front. Lakeshade's got 9, Captain Schmeck has got 3. So he might just gain another 2 positions at the end of the race. But Bean is now inside the top 10. He's now on the back of Snake and Beans. Right on the back now, heading towards turn number 9. Can't quite go for a move just yet. Looking left and right, Snake and Beans, a 3-second time penalty. What is that Renault doing? Bean sitting in the slipstream, doesn't use DRS though, that's interesting. See if he uses it this time. He does, uses overtake as well, and he gets past the Renault with absolute ease. He's now into 9th place. His next target is Gentleman Seth. Only 3.1 seconds up the road. Blender on the back of Doberman, so there's a fight for 12th going on. And here he comes actually. A lot of momentum on his side. Looking around the long way, Doberman still has his nose on the inside. Blender running a bit wide. They're going to be side by side through turn 5. Heading towards turn 6. They're still side by side. Doberman hanging around the outside. If he can keep it there, he'll have the inside line for turn 8. And he gets it done. Well done. Great bit of racecraft there. You heard there just a brief lift of the throttle there from the Mercedes. Just to sit in behind Doberman and use DRS to try and overtake him. As a Goose Gamer said, the fastest lap times 1 minute 4.630. It's only a 3-second time penalty. Now through turn 1, Doberman missing the apex a little bit there. Uses DRS, uses overtake as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't have quite enough momentum as Doberman is using overtake himself to keep the Mercedes at bay. Oh, and into the back goes the Mercedes and half spins the McLaren, but he manages to save it and keep the position. Oh, dearie me. much else going on. So, oh, hang on. Bean's on the back of Seth already. So he's clawed up that 3-second margin with ease. I reckon Seth must have made a mistake that I didn't see. Because to claw up 3 seconds that quickly is quite remarkable. Now through the final corner. Bean will have DRS to use here. And doesn't use it. Oh, now he does. Around turn 1, Seth holds the inside line, gets a 3-second time penalty. A good gamer being a bit of a nuisance, trying to go as fast as he humanly can, whilst he's in 18th place. Or Seth almost goes into the back of Bean. Now Snake and Beans has tried to overtake Seth, coming down the back straightaway towards turn number 4. There's Simon. Oh, in contact just then. Oh, dearie me, that could have been nasty, but thankfully it wasn't. Oh, close driving there. And here we go, the switchback is on. Contact between the two through turn 5. Now into turn 6. The Renault goes into the back, just briefly into the AlphaTauri. Oh, dearie me. Into turn 7, the Renault's trying to find a way past. And that's the first penalty for Seth, and he relinquishes the position. Mate, battle's going on here, isn't there? My word. I reckon this isn't over yet between these two. Seth will get DRS. Hasn't got a lot of ERS to play with. Whereas Beans, he's got none at all. He's absolutely dumped it up the hill towards turn number 3. Beans defends the inside line. I don't know why he did that for. Seth was nowhere near him. And then sort of continues to turn in after the apex, which compromised Seth a little bit there. Into turn number 4. This is where Snake will begin to pull away. With those soft compound tyres, extra mechanical grip they will provide. Be substantially quicker through here. Lake Show on the back of the tail. We have a battle for 6th place going on. I imagine the tail won't battle too much. You'll understand Lake Show has got quite a number of penalties. He'll reclaim position after the race. And he's going to have a look here down the inside of 1. He doesn't commit to the move, but he might commit to a move at turn 3. As Alp gets another penalty next to his name, he might actually lose 2nd place at this rate with the amount of penalties he's accumulating. As Lake Show, as I thought he would, makes a move down the inside at turn 3. Does the tail counter-attack. He's got 100% ERS. What has he been doing? He has got so much ERS to play with. My word. Oh, and he's massively overshot turn 4. Almost collected the back of the Mercedes. Now he's got a bit of catching up to do. But he was saving up some ERS perhaps for a fastest lap attempt, maybe. Or just like, he might just prefer having a bit of ERS in his back pocket. For situations such as these. Lucid and Pell having a scrap down there for 15th place. The tail just hanging on to the back of Lake Show. Opens DRS. Doesn't use any overtake just yet though. A good gamer, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. What a interesting race we have had here at Austria for the opening round of the America series of Race Spec Esports. Some battling here and there, some drama. It's been a nice start. Blender's on the back of Seth. In fact, he's in front of Seth now, heading towards turn number 4. Gets the position, he's now in 10th place. But with those penalties next to his name, he will lose the position to Seth. And fall back outside the top 10 unless, of course, Seth gets another penalty. And in the dying laps of this race, tell you what, we don't really need to know the tyre situation. The penalty situation is what we need to know with these final few laps. So with the current scenarios, it will be KD taking victory. He's in the lead, a 5-second margin, and the car behind has got a ton of penalties, 15 seconds in fact. Oh, it's Alpine running wide at the second to last corner. Seffi in P3, he's got less penalties than Alp, excuse me. But, oh, hang on, what's happened here? That's a Gus Gamer who has spun out and crashed. Waiting until everyone drives past. There's our race leader, there's Nix. He's got it in reverse. Oh, dearie me. Ready to go. Oh, dearie me. But yes, Seffi's got less penalties, but unfortunately the gap isn't close enough between him and Alp in order for him to claim second place. The same scenario sort of works for P4 and P5. The tail looking like he's going to snag an extra place. Looking like he's going to finish in 5th. Captain Schmeg looking like he's going to finish in 7th place. I don't see anyone really making a challenge for that position. I know Bean is on the back of him, but those penalties will ultimately demote him down the order. These two still scrapping it out, Blender and Snake. Actually, no, sorry, that's Blender making a position up on Snake. Blender made a move on Seth, but a lap ago. He's now into 9th place. So potentially Blender might be on for scoring at least a point here. KD has just begun the final lap, the 36th lap of this race. Bean is on the back of Captain Schmeg. But it's been a fairly dominant drive from KD. As soon as he got out into the lead, he's been next to untouchable, really. He's held on with that 5-second margin. And he's also been relatively good with penalties as well, which is a bit different from KD. Typically, he accumulates quite a bit. But he rounds the final corner. He will take the opening round. He wins here in Austria. SWM Alp will cross the line in 2nd place. Not a bad comeback race for SWM Alp, returning to Race Spec Esports. Seffi crosses the line in 3rd place, 3.5 seconds behind SWM Alp. Hildebeest in 4th. The Late Show will cross the line in 5th when he does, but will ultimately lose it to Detail. Detail will claim 5th place. Just looking back at the position changes. Who will be given driver of the day? It might be Detail, actually. Making up 6 positions. Starting 11th, finishing in the top 5. Not a bad race at all. Bean finishes in 8th with Captain Schmeg in 7th. Blender in 9th. Snake and Beans rounding out the top 10 there. But not a bad opening round here at Austria. There were definitely points in this race where not much happened. Get to the Williams driver. We'll have to see how many positions he made over the course of the race. But it's KD who will stand on the top step today here at Austria. A fine drive. As soon as he got the lead, didn't really look back. Unfortunately, Alpine and Seffi had quite a nice scrap at the mid-stage of the race. Definitely helped his cause. And also with Alpine, he just made quite a number of mistakes, gathering a lot of warnings and a lot of penalties, which ultimately kept him in 2nd. And Seffi, a fine drive to maintain 3rd place. That's Hildebeest in 4th, Detail in 5th, Lake Show in 6th, Captain Schmeg in 7th, Bean in 8th, Blender in 9th, Snake and Beans in P10. You cannot be serious. So the driver of the day was given to the Williams driver. He only made up 5 positions from 16th to 11th. I can tell you, this guy made up 6 positions and scored points. Okay, Codemasters, you do your thing. That's fine. Gentleman Seth finishes in 12th, Doberman in 13th, Nero Nixon 14th, Smith Pell in 15th, Lucid in 16th, Flavius in 17th, and our retirements, I believe. I remember August Gamer retiring from the session. I don't think Sully did, and JC, after having that monumental impact at turn 1, resulting in him retiring from the race. And also that incident between him, Snake and Beans, at the final corner, where it really wasn't a great day for him and the Alfa Romeo squad. Okay, races do sometimes be like that. Some days it really doesn't go your way, and some days it does. Some days you are the luckiest guy on the grid, but other days you are anything but lucky. Not a bad race, not a bad race at all. So, season opener out of the way. Next round we go to Silverstone, the British Grand Prix, one of the most historically significant racetracks in the world of Formula One and in the world of motorsport generally. It's one of the finest racing facilities, I think, in continental Europe, and generally one of the finest racing facilities in the world. It has been here since the beginning of Formula One, as I'm sure a lot of you people know. It hosted the first ever Formula One Grand Prix all the way back in 1950. And since then, it has been through many different configurations, but in almost any different configuration, there's always been great racing at Silverstone. So it'll be a very, very interesting race, I think, for round 2. It's also a track that a lot of people know. In seasons past, we used the circuit as a testing ground for drivers coming into the league, signing up to Race Spec Esports. That was the time trial circuit, so a lot of people would have done a lot of laps around here. For this season, they decided to do something different, using a 25% race around Belgium as your sort of what's the words I'm looking for? It was to show your sort of race pace and your quali pace, so then they could put you in the right tier, sort of thing. But regardless, a lot of people would know how to operate around Silverstone, so it'll be very, very interesting to see how that all pans out. But yeah, not a bad race to begin with. Not bad at all. Oh, top 15 score points. Since when was that a thing? Okay. A MotoGP point system. Man, I gotta get into MotoGP now. Oh, I gotta learn that. Okay, so the top 15 score points. Okay, dokie. But anyway, not a bad race to start with, and we'll move on to round 2. I hope you've enjoyed this race as much as I have. I'm going to have to learn this new point system that I wasn't told about, so see how that all pans out with a new top 15 point system. That'll be very interesting. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I've been the Smeg, and we'll see you all for round 2 for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Until then, goodbye.